Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the online class for today. But before we start, I want to advise you to make sure that you do the last assignment on irrigation and drainage, because some of you have not done it. Make sure that you do it and get it submitted latest by 25th of this month. So today's topic is agricultural pollution. Agricultural pollution. What is agricultural pollution? Agricultural pollution is the release of harmful substances into the farm environment by natural forces or by man, or including animals, causing biological damages to man and his farm resources. These agricultural pollution are caused by pollutants. By pollutants, I mean those substances that cause the pollution. For example, there are some pollutants that we know as herbicides. Herbicides. If you apply too much herbicide to the farm, it can lead to pollution. For example, look at this. This container is empty container of an herbicide that is used for killing the weeds. But if not properly used, or even after using and you just throw the empty container away without managing it properly, it can cause pollution because it serves as a pollutant. Another example is empty PET or plastic bottle or beverages. After making use of it, you don't just have to throw it away anyhow. Another example is also beverage. Another example of pollutants is empty bottle of pesticide. After applying pesticide to the farm crop, make sure this one is used for insecticide. After using it, make sure that you dispose it properly. And on the farm, there are some other refuse that are being generated. You can watch this. So after making use of them, make sure that you dispose them properly. We also have fertilizer. If fertilizer is not applied properly to the farm, it can cause pollution. For example, this one is NPK fertilizer. If you are to apply 2 kg and you apply 5 kg, the excess will lead to pollution. The one here is animal droppings. This is the dropping of poultry, that is poultry pen, the chicken. Their feces also constitute nuisance when not properly taken care of, because it causes pollution when not properly managed. Now, let's go properly into the discussion of the notes. Let me take the explanation of agricultural pollution once again. I said that agricultural pollution is the release of harmful or toxic substances into the farm environment, thereby causing biological damages to man and its environment, and also to the animals. That will now take us to the types or sources of major agricultural pollution. We have air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, and noise pollution. We are going to take them one after the other. Let's take air pollution first. There are examples of air pollutants, their sources, their effects, and their possible control measures. What I mean is that when you have air pollution, we also have air pollutants, and as well the sources of the air pollutants. effect the air pollutants cause and how we can control them. For example, one of the example of air pollution, one of the example of air pollutants is ammonia gas. Ammonia gas, the source is decomposition of the droppings of farm animals. When I mean the droppings of farm animal, I mean the feces and the urine. For example, that of chicken dropping that I've just shown to you. I hope you can see it. Can you see it? Can you see it? Alright. So, poultry, goat, pig, and sheep, their droppings, when they decompose, ammonia gas is produced. And this, when it gets to the atmosphere or in the air, it makes the air polluted. What is the effect of this ammonia gas when they are inhaled by man or animal? 1. Irritation of the eyes and the lungs of farm animals. 2. Coughing by man and animals. Then how do we control them? 1. Evacuation of animal droppings from farm environments. Some people are rearing farm animals, but they are not taking care of the droppings properly. Another air pollutant is dust particles. Dust particles. The source of this dust particle is from feed mills. Feed mills, that is where they prepare animal food. You can use maize or sorghum, grind them with machine to produce animal food. But in the process of doing that, dust particles will be generated, and once they get to the atmosphere, they pollute the air. That is why they serve as air pollutants. And what are their effects? 1. It causes lungs damaging and discomfort. Respiratory diseases such as coughing and the catarrh to feed mill workers. How do we control them? 1. Wearing of protective cover over the nose. And I want to believe that the wearing of protective cover over the nose is no more a new thing to you, because you know what is going on now. For example, can you see? Covering over the nose with nose cover. Alright, let's move ahead. We are done with air pollution. And now let us move over to noise pollution. Examples of air pollution, examples of noise pollutants, their sources, effects, and control. Here, majorly, the noise pollutant is majorly unpleasant sound. Any sound that is unpleasant, will cause air pollution, because to the hearer it will be very, very displeasing. You will not like it. For example, watch me, listen. Does it make sense? No. So that is air pollutant, unpleasant sound. What are the sources? The sources are 1, from feed mills, because when the feed mills is operating, the machine will be making unpleasant sound. Secondly, we have poultry pen, poultry beds. Most of the time, whenever they are feeding, noise is generated, and sometimes how they make noise, because you cannot you cannot locate your house nearby a poultry pen. Another source of this unpleasant sound is heavy duty machines. When heavy duty machines like a big generators are being operated, they generate unpleasant sound. What are their effects? One, deafness. 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 When it is too high or too much, it can lead to deafness. That is inability to hear. Another one is high pressure, followed by behavioral change. It can cause changes to the way we behave if the unpleasant sound persists. How do we control that? One, poultry house should be located far away from farm workers' living quarters and the farm offices. Two, installation of soundproof. Installation of soundproof. Soundproof is a gadget or a device that collects unpleasant sound and transform it in such a way that it cannot affect a nearby person. Now let's move over to land pollution. Land pollution. The same way we treated noise pollution, let's have the examples of land pollutants. Land pollutants. Their sources, their effects, and possible control. One of the example of land pollutants is refuse. Refuse. That is the sachets, waste papers, and empty cans generated on the farm site. For example, can you watch this? It's an example of refuse. This is a black nylon. After making use of it, don't throw it away anyhow on the farm. Can you also see this? They are all refuse. So, two, what are their sources? I said from farm offices and by farm workers. Farm workers, whenever they finish whatever they want to do with a container or package, they just throw it away anyhow. What are their effects? It causes offensive odor. Eyesore, because by eyesore I mean that when you see it littering everywhere, you will not feel good seeing them. That is what I mean by eyesore. Another one is respiratory disorder. Respiratory disorder, because some certain things will be decaying under them, and that will disturb the air. How do we control them? By burning all this refuse in an incinerator. In an incinerator. Incinerator is a metal container whereby refuse are being dumped and be burned at a particular time. Another example of land pollutants is sewage. Sewage. And what is sewage? Sewage is a collection of animal droppings or farm workers' feces, if not properly managed. What are the sources of this sewage? One, farm offices and farm workers' living quarters. What are their effects? One, offensive odor, eyesore, and breeding of disease-causing pathogens. If cell waste is not properly disposed, they will be decomposing and they will be generating bacteria and some other microorganisms that can cause disease. Control measures. 1. Construction of toilets on the farm site. Construction of what? Toilets on the farm site, and as well cell waste treatment before disposal, because when a container of cell waste has been filled up, you have to treat them and dispose them. But some people, they only dispose them without treating them with chemicals. Another example of land pollutants is agricultural chemicals. By agricultural chemicals, I mean those chemicals that are used by farmers on the farm. For example, the farmer make use of herbicide, the chemical that is used for killing weeds or controlling weeds. The farmer also make use of insecticide, the chemicals used for killing pests that attack crops on the farm. Okay. We also have another agrochemical is fertilizer. We have chemical fertilizers such as NPK fertilizer, urea fertilizer, and the rest of them. When they are not properly applied on the farm, or they are applied in excess, they will lead to pollution on the land, on the farmland. So the sources, I've just mentioned them: pesticide, herbicide, and fertilizer improper applications. Their effects are they destroy beneficial organisms, and as well they increase soil acidity, because once they are on the soil, they will be constituting nuisance in the soil. Therefore, since they are chemicals, they contain toxic substance. Any microorganism that eats them, maybe by mistake, what will happen? It will kill them, because it is highly toxic. It will be poisonous to them. How do we control them? You should use agrochemicals by following instruction on the label. Every chemicals have instructions. Can you see there are so many instructions on this one? If you are asked to apply 2 liters of this on 5 hectares of farmland, do so. Don't increase to 7 liters, because that will constitute pollution. The next pollution we are going to treat is water pollution. Water pollution. Water pollution also has their own examples of water pollutants. Water pollutants, one of the examples of water pollutants is also agricultural chemicals. Agricultural chemicals, as I said earlier, they are those chemicals that we apply on the farm in carrying out our farm activities, such as pesticide, insecticide, and fertilizers. Okay? When they are applied in excess, they will accumulate in the soil, and when erosion occurs, it will wash them into the pond, into the fish pond, thereby killing the fishes in the pond. It will wash them into rivers and streams. What are their effects? They will kill aquatic animals and aquatic plants. Another effect is that they make water unfit for man use and animal. How do we control them? There should be legislation. There should be what? Legislation against the release of chemicals into the water bodies. The government needs to make its legislation against the dumping of chemicals into the water bodies. And as well, agrochemicals should be used according to instruction. Another example of water pollutants is animal droppings. Animal droppings are the urine and the feces of farm animals, such as the birds, that is the chicken, the goats, and the cow. What are the sources of these animal droppings? The source is farm animals. What are their effects? They cause offensive odor, eyesore, and breeding of disease-causing pathogens, that is, microorganisms that cause diseases, and they are highly infectious. How do you control them? The control of animal dropping is 1. By making use of intensive system of animal production. Intensive system of animal production simply means that you should have animal pen where you cage your animals. Fence them. Don't allow them to go out. Give them feed, water, and medication, and every other attention that are needed. Don't allow them to be wandering about like the cows of the Fulanis. The cows of the Fulanis, you also know that they drop their droppings anywhere they want without control. Thereby they cause eyesore, because when you see cow dropping on the road, it's an eyesore to you. You won't like it. So that is why I said that you should practice intensive system of animal production, where you can easily manage the animal droppings. Another control is proper disposal of animal droppings. For example, in your house, you are rearing chicken or 1 or 2 goats. Every morning, make sure that you clean the animal droppings and dispose them properly. So, another example of water pollutants is crude oil. The source is through oil drilling. In Bayelsa State on some other oil states, crude oil is being drilled, and in the process the water gets polluted. Another source is through unloading of oil tankers. When oil tanker that is carrying crude oil or petrol or kerosene in your neighborhood, if they are trying to unload, that is to release the fuel or kerosene or crude oil, to release it out of the oil tanker, there could be droppings that will pollute the land. Thereby, when it rains, the water will wash them, the rainwater will wash, the erosion will wash them into the water bodies, thereby leading to danger. Another source is through oil spillage. Through oil spillage, oil pipe can get broken and leakage will occur. What are their effects? The effect is that they destroy aquatic plants and animals because crude oil contains chemicals. Migration of animals to other places that are safer, because in a particular area where there is oil spillage, the animals will not like to stay there. They will rather migrate to another place that is safe. Then, any area where oil has been spilled will make the land unfit for planting. Now, how do we control crude oil spillage? One, by using proper technique for drilling of crude oil, and also the government should clean up areas where we have oil spillage. For example, in Ogoni land in Bayelsa, the government should please clean up the place so that they can find it easy to farm. This is going to be the end of this discussion, but make sure that you do the assignments that will follow suit. Check your portal, you will see the assignments and the notes, and make sure that you submit the assignment within the next 3 days for marking. Thank you for listening. We shall meet again.